I'm going to show you how to cut kids' hair with using clippers, and we're going to use clippers to do it. We're going to use a 1 guard and a 2 guard, and I'm going to show you how to use the clippers, how to use the fades on the side. I'm going to show you an easy way how to fade your kids' hair so you don't have to go to the hairstylist every 3 weeks because your kids' hair is growing so fast. This is how we're going to start. I have sectioned the hair out because my son likes to keep the top long. You're gonna section this part out anyway, even if your kid wants it shorter, because what we're gonna do is cut the fade on the bottom half of the hair, and then we're gonna cut the top. These are gonna be 2 different sections. So with our clippers, we're gonna start with the guard number 1, and then this lever here, it'll show you how it lifts and lowers the guard. So if we pull it all the way down, we've raised more length between the blade. When we lift it up, the distance between the top and the bottom is giving us a half. If we pull it down, it's giving us number 1 guard, okay? So you're always gonna start on the shortest one. We're not gonna have it up. Keep it on the shortest one. And you're gonna measure how far up you want that fade to go. So I'm gonna do a very traditional one where I'm gonna keep the fade around mid hairline down. Now you're gonna start against the head and you're going to go all the way up to that line and lift out. So you're bringing it up and lifting it back. It's like a scoop. Okay, we're gonna go behind the ear, scoop it, scoop it, scoop it. And then continue down. So what we're doing is we're keeping this length as we go down. We're not taking this length all the way across. So we're still running it against the head, and then when we lift off up, we're scooping it away. And I'm gonna go in a few different directions to make sure we're getting all of those little baby hairs. Like so. Okay, we're gonna start on this side, so we're going against the head and scooping it up. And then behind the ear and connecting the 2. So start on one side, go to the back, and then finish. Bend the ear down to make sure that we're keeping it nice and flat surface. And we're creating that line that goes across. Now we're gonna switch the number 1 guard out for the number 2. And we're gonna put it on the long version, not on the short. So keep it on the long, which is when you pull it down. And I keep my thumb on it to make sure it doesn't pop open. And we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna start and we're gonna scoop it up. But what we're doing is going all the way up to that top hairline. Once we reach the top, that's when we rock the clippers back to scoop it out. So we're keeping it flat on the head and then doing this rotation. And there are curves on the guard to help you guide and make that movement smooth. There we go. So now we have this line between the guard 1 and the guard 2. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the guard 2 that's on the longest, because we have the lever down, and we're gonna pull it up. So now we've shortened it that half, and we're gonna just go over this line. It's not gonna take any more hair off the bottom, but we wanna try to eliminate this line. So it's not gonna do a lot. Chin up, baby. Yeah. And we're just going back and forth. I'm not scooping. What I'm doing is really going back and forth on that line to get all of those little baby hairs to soften that line between the guard 1 and the guard 2. We're gonna do this all the way around the head. Chin down. And I'm rotating the clipper from the left to the right, back and forth, because our hair is gonna grow in different directions. So this is just ensuring that we're getting all of those hairs that could be lost within it. Now I'm gonna replace it with the number 1 guard that we used on the bottom. And we had it on the short lever. Now we're gonna put it to the long one. So we have that extra half, and we're gonna do the same thing and scoop it along this line to soften that line of demarcation even more. So whenever you're on the longest, put your thumb on the side as you're holding it to ensure that as you're rotating it, it can pop forward. We don't want that to happen. Keep it long. So these ones are a little bit more of a soft scoop. So again, this motion. Scoop, scoop, scoop. And now that line is completely faded. We don't see it. Do this all the way around the head. So now we have this fade from a number 1 into like the 1.5-ish area into the 2. The 1 on the shortest is at the bottom. We're gonna create where we want that shortest part. Then we're gonna go to the number 2. The number 2 is gonna connect and finish off the hair up to the part that you've sectioned out. Then you take the number 2 on the shortest and eliminate that line of demarcation in between. Then you go back to the number 1 and do it. So it's kind of like a little bit of a reverse. The reason why you wanna try the number 2 on the longest to eliminate that line, because you wanna make sure you get those little baby hairs in between before you go to the number 1 long. Because the number 1 long will take it from here, that short, and then that little half will eliminate that line, but we wanna make sure that we're not doing it too drastic, and we have a little bit of insurance when we use the number 2 on the shortest. Now with the top of the hair, my son likes to keep it long, so we'll probably just keep it. If you're wanting to take this shorter, what you're going to be doing is you split the hair down the middle, and you're gonna take vertical sections out to the side of the head and cut it this way, and then bring it up to the top and then connect it. So you're almost doing like a box. And then my trick always is that when you're cutting a line, whether it's vertically or horizontally, especially on boys' hair, we're not gonna do a straight line. We're gonna chip into it like this so it's jagged. That way it falls softer and it doesn't look like you've got those strong scissor marks. Same as the top, you're gonna cut it on an angle like so. So there's the top. Instead of going across like this, I'm gonna take little half chips. So these are little jagged diagonals, like little triangles as we're cutting it. So if you wanna keep it disconnected, like my son's hair, where this is short and this is long, but you still wanna take the top long, you're gonna section the hair, not connect the sides this way. So we're not cutting it out to the side and then the top. And you're just gonna choose the length that you want, take fine sections and just chip into it on the top. But this is how you get a smooth fade with a guard 1 and a guard 2. And you can play with how short you want the fade, meaning the shortest part maybe a little bit more shallow through the bottom. Maybe you take it up even higher, which is like a high and tight, and play with that. But establish the bottom first, then do the top, and then you're going to eliminate that line in between.